Well, I would say the dominant experience I have is profoundly committed, passionate people who often articulate their work as giving it the good fight. And what is often implicit in that communication is it's such a big issue. It's so big. I'm going to give it my best shot, but I don't really know. And what I want to see is people with the confidence and the knowing that they can get it the way they want it. I was at a conference on change at a place called Finhorn many years ago, giving a presentation. And on I think it was transformative leadership, or this large global initiative that I did with the United Nations Children's Fund and ABC Television in 1980s. And I said to the people in the audience, they were asking me a bunch of questions, I said to them, how many of you are really believing we can get here? We can really change the world. And how many of you are just sort of wishful thinking and hoping, but not really owning that as a possibility? And most people said that they were just sort of not really believing it. They weren't, I mean, when they honestly answered that question. And so I said, well, if you don't believe it, how are we going to get there? And what will it take for you to believe it? And most of them, you know, had never really answered that question. But these beliefs and attitudes diffused around to all the people that they knew. And these were the change leaders in Europe, or many change leaders in Europe, the most progressive, the most transformationally minded change leaders. And so the invitation was why? Well, the invitation was to do it, and then the question was, what will hold me back? What beliefs do I hold that limit me? And what I found was they didn't know how. They couldn't see beyond the forest. They couldn't see beyond the trees because they had no other strategy. That was one of the things that compelled me to serve that population, because I feel that population is so desirous and so ready. But what happens to many people who try is they go in, they're inspired, they want to make a difference, they want to do something with their lives that gives them a sense of meaning and purpose. They are seeing an outrage in society, or they're seeing an opening in society, and they try, they go for it, and they get repelled because it's not easy to create the change. And they try again, and they get repelled. And each time they get wounded psychically. Their mind, their belief gets deteriorated in terms of belief of the possible. And they try again, and they get repelled again. And you begin to observe what I call wounded warriors. People who've gone onto the front lines, they have not had effective results, or not the results they had set out to have. And then they begin to lower their expectations of what's possible. They're now in, quote unquote, the good fight. The good fight is a euphemism for, I don't really think we're going to get there. I don't know what else to do. I'll just keep trying, and maybe somehow it will work. And eventually those people either burn out or they become cynical. And then when they become cynical, they're now part of the solution. I mean, they're now part of the problem. So part of what I want to serve is those people that need to be rebolstered to go forward, or those that have not had so many wounds and they can come in with a fresh spirit and not have those kinds of challenges.